All right, with our video today, we are focusing on the connection between percents and decimals. And so, of course, our goal is to take a percent and write it in its decimal format, to take a decimal and write it in its percent format. We can also figure out a percent of a section using a circle graph and solve some word problems related to percents and decimals. All right, a couple of things that you have to be able to do. Can you count to 2? If not, don't watch this video. You also have to keep in mind that 1 whole is the same thing as 100%. And of course, you need to have the skill of adding and subtracting decimals. So, write the percent as a decimal. Well, percent again means per 100. Per 100 means divide by 100. And so, if you want to take 40% and turn it into a decimal, this is nothing more than 40 divided by 100. And of course, we expect you to know, if you divide by 100, the only thing it does is move the decimal. And it moves the decimal 2 places. So counting to 2 basically says, if you've got the decimal at 40, count 2 places to the left, and that's your decimal. Done. 12.5%, same thing. The decimal has to go 2 places to the left, which would move it to 0.125. Done. In order to convert a percent to a decimal, you just divide by 100, which is moving the decimal 2 places. That's all. So essentially, the work itself, all you have to do is count to 2, but it's knowing which direction to count. Because working the other direction, well, we haven't reached there yet. Got ahead of myself a little bit, sorry. 0.4%. This is the kind of thing that a lot of students will make a mistake, because it's common for students to say 0.04. And 0.04 is wrong, because they needed to go 2 places to the left, filling in dead space. It should have been 0.004. With 225, you can't even see a decimal, but we understand it at the end. And so moving 2 places to the left again, we get 2.25. To change a percent to a decimal, we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. To work the other direction, to change a decimal to its percent format, it's the exact opposite. Instead of 2 to the left, you just go 2 to the right. That's all. To change a decimal to a percent, it's multiplying by 100. And multiplying by 100 has the effect of moving it 2 points rightward, so 27%. We're done. 1.6 would go 2 points to the right, giving us a dead space 0. So 160%. That's it. .008 and 2.1. 2 spaces, giving us 0.8%. 2 spaces, giving us 210%. That's it. It's just counting. All right, so what percent of the circle graph is represented by this yellow region? Okay, well, one thing to keep in mind. 1 whole is 100%. Each one of these things we could represent then 34%, 25%, 29%, and then the yellow region. Together, all of those things have to be 100%. So all we're really looking at saying is we've got 34, we've got the 25% in the blue, we have 29% in the green. If we add up all the pieces that we currently have, 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 9 gives us 18, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. So far, we've used up 88%. One whole is 100%. So how much is left? Just subtracting off from 100, this would have to be 12%. So what percent of the yellow region? 12%. That's it, we're done. And our last problem then. We'll say that you spend $180 on concert tickets, and then $100 more on gas in a hotel to go to the concert, and you spend $120 on video games. Now, if your monthly salary is $2,200, we want to consider what percent of your budget did you spend on entertainment. Round your answer to the nearest percent. By the way, financial experts do recommend that if you want to make money and not be broke all the time, entertainment expenses should be 5% or less of your total income. If you're spending more than that, financial experts say you're wasting your money and you're never going to get rich. Okay, so concert tickets, going to the concert, video games, those are all entertainment. So if we were to say, take $180, add it to the $100 for travel expenses and the video games, we'd be able to look at these and say 0, 10, 400. We've spent then 400 out of the $2,200 for entertainment expenses. This is a piece that we know we can simply put into our calculator and turn it into a decimal. Remember the earlier video we saw that if you've got a fraction you can turn it into a percent directly using a proportion, but we're focusing on the decimal method now. So if we turn it into a decimal, 40 divided by 220, we get the decimal 0.18181818 repeating, and so rounding this to the nearest whole percent, what's that going to be? 18.18181818, so 18.18181818%. If we wanted to round it, well, to the nearest whole percent, that's 18%. To the nearest tenth, it would be 18.2%. And so in this situation, we'd have to look at it and say, if you were to do this consistently, you're definitely wasting a huge amount of money. Spending too much money, according to financial experts. Basically, if you were to do this, experts would say you don't spend any money at all on entertainment for another 3 months to get back under the 5% threshold, because 2 months would get you down to like 6, 7%. So yeah, no more entertainment for 3 months for that. Thus, we're noting each of our skills. We've seen that you can solve word problems based on percents. We already have seen how to turn fractions into decimals. That's a valuable skill. We know that one whole adds up to 100%, and so we can figure out the missing section within a pie graph. And we can convert from a decimal to a percent. We can convert from a percent to a decimal just by counting to 2, but counting to 2 in the correct direction.